Well, welcome to part 8 of the Big Score Take Action Plan, the top 10 credit myths. Some of the most devastating credit mistakes that I have witnessed come from individuals who have followed bad advice by falling prey to credit myths. They read articles, they've bought books, or they've followed well-meaning but misguided advice of family or coworkers and friends and some financial gurus. The information they've received sounded good and seemed sensible, but it was dead wrong and it cost them big. The credit system can seem peculiar because an action can seem to make total sense and still be wrong. So today I'm going to challenge the top 10 credit myths to help you avoid credit advice that can destroy your credit scores. Myth number 1, you should avoid using credit cards. How many times have you heard people on syndicated TV or radio advise consumers to cut up their credit cards and pay everything with cash as part of a financial plan? Well, I agree with most financial experts who say that using credit cards is better for your budget. However, Fair Isaac & Company, the creator of our credit scoring system, says that 30% of your scores are made up of how you use to manage your revolving debt. So without credit cards, you cannot maximize your credit scores, and there is no getting around it. Myth number 2, the amount of the credit card limit makes a difference. Well, the amount of your credit card limit does not make a difference to your credit score. The important number is the ratio between the balance, which is the debt owed, and the available limit that you have to spend. If you have a $4 balance on a $5 card, you will be penalized the same as if it were a $4,000 balance on a $5,000 card. It's all about the percentage spent in relation to the amount owed. Myth number 3, consolidating debt onto a low-interest credit card will increase your scores. Dig yourself out of a financial hole with a balance transfer. Does that sound familiar? Credit card companies tempt you with big checks personalized with your name already printed on them. Sounds great, doesn't it? And it would be great, except that if you consolidate all of your debt onto one credit card, you will max out that card and your credit scores will drop 80 to 100 points overnight. And then all of your other credit card interest rates, including theirs, will increase to the highest amount allowed, making it impossible for you to pay your balances down. Myth 4, you have to keep a balance on your credit card or the credit card won't be rated. Well, as long as you use your credit cards, you will be rated. Revolving accounts become unrated due to the lack of use, not whether or not there is a balance. So if you have credit cards, it's best not to allow them to become dormant. Use them once every couple of months, gas or groceries. That's all it takes. Myth number 5, closing credit accounts will help your score. Don't close credit accounts at all, with the following exceptions: closing a joint account after divorce, removing your name from an authorized user account that has incurred negative history or a high balance to limit ratio, or in the case of identity theft. When you close credit card accounts, you lose points in 2 factors. Both in the amounts owed factor, which is worth 30% of your credit score, and then in the length of credit history factor, which is worth 15% of your credit score. Myth 6, as long as you pay off your credit card balance every month, your score will go up. Many of my clients have made the mistake of thinking that as long as they pay their bills on time, their score should improve, but this isn't the case if you carry high balances. The balance that hits your statement each month is the balance that gets reported to the credit bureaus. This is the balance that will be calculated in your credit scores. And the rules are that if the balance on your credit cards is over 50% of its limit when your statement is printed, you are losing points. So I advise my clients to get into the habit of paying their statements before they are due, especially American Express cards, which carry a very high balance. All right, myth number 7, paying off an old collection or charge-off will increase your credit scores. Well, this myth is surrounded by controversy, mostly because many people don't understand the true effect that paying off an old collection account has on credit scores. If you have a collection account and you make payment on it, or a written or oral promise to pay it, you risk an immediate drop in your credit scores because it makes an old collection a recent paid collection. You also risk renewing the statute of limitations on that account. Now, this is a doozy. Myth number 8, your divorce decree protects your credit scores. Well, certainly every spouse feels total relief when he or she has been awarded a judgment that says you are free from your ex's credit card debt or car loan, but not so fast. because fact is that a divorce decree does not take precedence over a creditor agreement. In other words, the credit bureaus and creditors actually trump a divorce settlement, making you liable for your spouse's debt regardless of what the judge says. Now here's some good news in myth number 9. Marrying someone who has poor credit will not hurt your credit scores. Although getting married generally means that you'll be combining finances, it does not mean that your credit will be combined. As a matter of fact, the only time the same account should show up on both reports is when you have opened a joint account together, co-signed for each other, or added your spouse as an authorized user on a credit card account. Old history, good and bad, cannot legally be reported on your spouse's credit report if they did not sign as a joint owner. And myth 10, paying or settling a negative account, such as a judgment, lien, or charge-off, will remove that item from your credit reports or remove the penalty to your credit scores. Many people think that if they pay off a negative account, it will be removed from their credit reports immediately and it will improve their credit scores. But this is not the case. There are specific statutes that allow these items to remain on your credit reports for 7 to 10 years. However, that does not mean that you cannot seek early removal if you find out that the account is being reported inaccurately and has caused you hardship in inaccurate reporting. So in today's rapid-fire age of information, bloggers and self-promotion, consumers have to carefully weigh the quality of the advice that they receive. Bad information often comes from very big sources. As a credit expert, these 10 myths reveal only a handful, of the advice and misinformation that leads consumers down a dangerous, destructive, and false path. The credit scoring system doesn't always make sense, and that really doesn't matter to you. But what does matter is that you know the truth about credit scores and you know the right steps to take to improve it and maintain a healthy credit rating. Thanks for tuning in to today's session of the Big Score Take Action Plan. Remember, the professional who sent this video to you is someone who is committed to not only helping you find that perfect home or qualify for mortgage financing, but is also committed to your overall financial health. And credit is a big part of that, more than ever before. So if you like this information, call and say thanks, and we encourage you to share it with your family and friends. You can also visit my site at creditresourcecorp.com to learn more about credit score improvement and to order your own copy of my book, The Big Score, Getting It and Keeping It. This is Linda Ferrari saying bye for now, and remember, it's never too late to take action.